Where's the remote? Found it.
Turn off the lights.
All right.
Did you grab the drinks?
Yeah, I got them.
Okay, I'm making the popcorn.
It's starting. Come on.
All right. Okay, I'm here. Hit the button. Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm Gianna. And
Welcome
welcome to the We Watch It All podcast, where we watch it all and give you our opinions.
AKA the opinions no one ever asked
Sissy
for.
just scared the crap out of me when she just jumped up.
Our opinion.
Yeah, Sissy is anti-opinions today because we went to go press record, and guess what? She already started trying to rip up the paper.
She was ripping.
And now she's gonna scratch on our cardboard. Oh, she's evil. Sissy, you're evil. But we are doing the last ever, well, I don't know if ever, but the last She-Hulk episode 9, the finale. Whose show is this?
I don't know that it could not be ever, because to be honest with you, they didn't really leave it in a place that you could I guess you could just start fresh with a whole different type of thing, but they didn't leave it with
Like a cliffhanger?
Yeah, not even a little little dangle of something.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's there's nothing. And be okay, you tidied it all up. Nice,
But
thank you.
here's the thing, most sitcoms, I feel don't leave you with a cliffhanger.
No,
you know what I mean? They kind of leave on a neutral term. So
I know, but this is
and if this is supposed to be a lawyer sitcom, then yeah, I could see it probably getting, maybe. I don't know if there's really been any confirmation if this was supposed to be a limited series or more than just one.
Yeah.
Really, Marvel's given no clue to most of their shows. If it's supposed to be, the dogs are running. Don't make that face. If it's supposed to be a limited run. WandaVision, they came right out and said, this is a limited run. Loki, they did, obviously, at the end said season 2, and they're already doing that. But,
Moon... but at least with Wanda, you knew she was going somewhere with Strange. After that. You knew this was going to kind of pick up somewhere.
Yeah. So
you were not that you were okay, but it was still kind of continuing in a weird, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
It was not
well, yeah, they let you know where they were going. You knew Monica was going to go probably meet with Nick Fury and the Skrulls and all that and things like that. But all these shows are most likely they either don't say. I think Moon Knight and Miss Marvel also feel they could have a second season, but no one's really talked about that.
Oh, yeah, because I feel they really didn't finish that.
Yeah. Well, Miss Marvel, the finale, the post-credit scene is going to take care of that in the Marvels, but I just feel her show in general could be a long-running show.
But that's what I'm saying. Even that, it's going to continue in a way somewhere else. So that's basically the same thing.
But I still feel obviously in the Marvels, I don't think they're going to dive into the whole mutant gene for her. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think they're going to really get that deep for her.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to have them do their, little adventure thing. And, if she had a second season, that's where
I think her friend that's, into the tech and all that stuff,
well,
I think he would be the one that would...
I thought she was biting her little seat now. I was going to be is she that upset that she's ripping up her little seat that she loves that much? Could be. I'm trying to think. And then Moon Knight, obviously, we know that one left with revealing the third altar for him. So obviously that has somewhere else to go. And there's been rumors. I think we mentioned that once in one of our first podcasts that the director and Oscar Isaac, that child is screaming, and I don't even think it's actually
not screaming. That's screeching.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't scream. It screeches. Mm-hmm. It's like an eagle.
We all know how much she loves
I hate birds.
Anyway, can we get back onto She-Hulk, please?
No, I know. But I was going to say, I think we did kind of get a subtle confirm from there. But that is my number one thing with D23. Nothing came out of there, and we don't even, they didn't even confirm a second season for any of these shows, in my opinion. But yes, let's get on to the actual episode now.
Yeah, because it's got a lot of different... I thought there's only one way they can go with this, and it's to continue and finish with her in jail and whatnot, and how she gets out and all. But no, they have so many different weird things going on. They started with mimicking the old intro to
Hi, Sissy.
Hulk the TV show, and they did, I have to say, because I've watched it because I'm that old, they did a really good job of it. It was really quite comical.
Spot on.
Oh yeah,
look at her.
Yeah, pretty. Come on.
She's got a sparkle in her eye.
Hi, Mommy, I love you. So then they show her in what is it, the
DODC.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in I think Abomination's cell.
Well, that's what it looks like anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know. They could have multiple cells like that.
Well, probably, but maybe I would assume it probably would be Abomination cell because it's set for like someone to grow.
Well, it looked like where the door came in and all that stuff looked.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they're not going to rebuild a whole set, so they probably just reused it.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure technically they reused it, but like we don't know if it was really supposed to be his cell or something.
And in there, Mallory, Pug, and Nikki come to visit her, and they kind of discuss the situation, and Mallory kind of tells her that, yeah, they're going to release you, but you're going to have, like, an inhibitor, and you can't be a lawyer. Which, what's interesting is, in the first episode, she asks Hulk to make her an inhibitor, right? And he says no, or, like, he can't do it again, or something like that. Remember that?
Yeah, they had
but
one
now
for
they
Abomination and her.
Yeah. Which is weird. Like, I noticed, I'm like, when they did the Abomination, I was like, okay, maybe he just meant with her DNA.
His reasoning was that it can't be done with her DNA?
I think so.
But here's the funny thing. She didn't turn.
Yeah, so we don't really know if it actually...
she didn't even try to turn. So she might have been
able
control.
To do it.
Like, just able to control, but maybe the inhibitor...
Wouldn't actually work.
Like, we never really saw, because she never really got to the point of being so angry that she was getting ready to, you know...
Or even, like, think about it. Like, I think it was just, like, a mental... She was like, okay, I'm not supposed to do it, then I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, it's kind of
I mean, we do know, obviously, like, at the end of the episode, she does end up turning into She-Hulk when she cuts to the...
Yeah, but she doesn't have the inhibitor on her, I would assume. She was cleared. But she's more concerned about stopping these people and all like that. And they're like, no, you're past that. Like, you need to, like, just take this deal right now because... you have to worry about what you did. You made yourself look like a monster.
Yeah.
And regardless of what they did, I still think it's going to come out somewhere in the future that Mallory is somehow...
like a bad guy.
Something. And whether it's not her or she's
that mystery
somehow connected to somebody.
Husband or whatever.
Yeah.
Is... yeah.
I mean, even though they revealed who the Hulk King is, I still think something's there.
I could have been somebody like a lab technician or something in the... part of that whole king with the blood.
Yeah, I still think something's there. I don't know what
because it was just weird. Like, I don't know. I feel like they did give her like a mysterious background.
Yeah,
family.
and the way
like
she was this, like,
so it's like and
talking to her and stuff. It's just like I don't know. It's just,
and this one,
weird.
and then last week she was like, Jen, don't turn.
Yeah, like it's just so weird.
Unless she just has like a soft spot for Jen, and we just But I don't know. I feel like everything's something obviously in these shows. So you kind of like you think about it. And you're like,
it's always something.
Yeah. Then her parents offer to let her come and live with them
I did not think that this was going to turn this way, to be honest with you, because I'm thinking to myself, does someone like her not have any savings or anything? Because one minute she's like fired cleaning out her desk with Nikki and them, and they're going to stay there, and then the next thing you see her, like her apartment's empty.
Well, because
and she's moving in with the parents. And I'm like, wait, what?
I think it's because you hear on the TV that someone says, I believe, that they live next to her and they don't feel safe.
Yeah.
So they might have like removed her. And then, same thing where they were like saying, well, if you can't get another job, it's fine. But like they might also not be able to, like she might have tried to look for somewhere else. But
no, I'm sure she didn't get another job, but I just meant like,
well, no, I meant like apartment wise.
I thought that just happened all so randomly fast. Like,
well, yeah, I think it was supposed to be like a little montage.
I know it's like, yeah, but it just felt very fast. And then there she is at home, and of course, all her childhood things in there. And I was saying to you that I thought it was kind of weird because, like, she had obviously posters of, like, legal people like Erin Brockovich and Legally Blonde. And I thought Legally Blonde was weird for her because she is ditzy and a blonde. And I know she goes to law school and stuff. But I just thought for Jen being as smart, or seemingly as smart as she is, it was just kind of weird. But I was more impressed, though, that she had that owl that... in a stained glass form that, says how many licks does it take to get to the bottom of a Tootsie Roll. Yeah. That was impressive.
While at home, she has Nikki come over and they try to, like, she has, like, a whole, like, like a murder board out with, like, trying to figure out who is the intelligentsia and who's the Hulk King. And they try to, like, run through this, and they also see that Dennis from her old office is like making up lies about her.
Yeah,
which I thought that was gonna be something a little bit more than what it was too. But I think it was just like kind of like a little like throwaway. She ends up and she goes to try to text Bruce, But the text won't send, obviously, because we know he is out of this world, so it probably wouldn't have sent anyway.
No. But before that, the mother shows a video of Jen, like, being silly and dancing in college or something, and I couldn't figure out what that was about. Like, why we're throwing a random video in there. But it makes sense after the fact because she sends it to Nikki, and then Nikki gets the bright idea to try, like, post this video on the intelligentsia, thinking that they're gonna think, oh, she's an ally, like we should get her to come to our events and stuff. And it worked because they emailed her back
and pretty much
whatever, and told her, like, oh, hey, we're having an event, you should come, this, that, and the other thing. But I guess they thought she was a guy. So I guess,
they assumed she was a guy, and so she has Pug, like, go as her, and she's gonna speak to him through a headset in the party, which we were oh my god, look at her, she's eating it standing up.
I can't see her here on the way.
Well, she doesn't matter, she turned around looking like, no, I'm not, sissy, you are something else, girl. Which, you know what I'm thinking, now that we know where this Intelligentsia party was held, and we know it's...
Yeah, but I don't think, in the end, I don't think that's where it's held all the time.
No, I don't think it was. I think they just came there for the meeting, but I'm just saying, we should have known off the bat, because as soon as they start separating from the call, their call starts dropping, because we know they have no service up there. That should have been the first sign. We did notice, though, before they brought Abomination out, if you look in the back, you can see Emil's sign saying, like...
Yeah, it just looked like the barn.
The cabin looked like it, and then just, you can see his like, little quote signs from the last... not the last episode, the retreat episode.
But in the meantime, before all that kind of, or at the same time-ish, like, Jen starts doing, like, the breaking of the fourth wall. And she starts talking to the TV again, being like, is this how this is going down? And, yeah, do you answer her, Cooper? And she says, oh, you know, when she didn't get Bruce, I think it's when she decided to call Emil.
Well, she tries,
she's like, the only person that would know is Emil. And then she's like, well, he said I could come on, and, you know, it would be...
Whenever.
Yeah, which I thought maybe she was just going to try to hide out there. I didn't think this was going to turn into anything. And, yeah, so she drives up there, and lo and behold, she gets put into a room.
She's eating old pieces of paper that she ripped up. Yeah, which... I also thought when we were just kind of, like, seeing that it was, like, the thing, I thought Emil was going to be in on this Intelligentsia thing, especially because the guy who attacked her was there, which we'll get into.
I think that would have been too obvious, but you just figured it has to be that he's not going to be a good guy, but, you know.
So at the party, they actually make a reference to Jane Foster, the Mighty Thor. They call her Lady Thor because when the trailer and everything came out, a lot of people were referring to her as Lady Thor instead of her actual title name that's, like, from the comics. It's not just something somebody made up for the movies. Her name is the Mighty Thor. They refer to her, they do the whole classic bit that is so true that if she was a man, that they would be making these same exact comments, which is not true because there are plenty of characters that are, obviously, there's characters that are exactly the same, She-Hulk and Hulk, but then there's, like, characters that have a, like, I guess you could say, like, narcissistic, I guess, I feel like Iron Man is like that, like, a little, like cocky's the word, that, and obviously Carol Danvers is also just like that as well, but when you compare the two characters, obviously one got significantly more hate than one and the other, and I don't even think I have to say who. So I wanted to point that out because they did make a reference to Jane, which means that obviously that they know, like, you know what I mean? They know, they're up to date on their events, I guess you could say. And at the party, we see Todd, and I was like, yeah, okay, I kind of expected to see him.
We knew he was going to be involved in that part of somehow. I just didn't think he'd be the Hulk King.
Yeah, and we find out, obviously, like you said, he is the Hulk King. I'm all lost in my notes. They're all mixing together. Oh, okay. We're good. I'm good. Yeah. We see that he is the Hulk King, which we were kind of saying that we thought maybe it would be someone bigger than him, but...
Yeah, I thought he'd be, like, somehow involved, like, maybe, you know, part of, like, the people that are trying to get the stuff, but not that he would be the one.
Well, yeah, but now that you kind of hear why he wanted to do this, it kind of makes sense. He says that he doesn't think she should have the powers because she didn't earn the powers, she didn't work for the powers, but he, I guess, by, like, tracking her down and, like, building this master plan, he essentially thinks that is worthy of having Hulk powers.
Yeah.
and he has Abomination come in and speak to everybody because at first I was like, oh, and then when you hear him talk, it's very obvious.
Realize he doesn't know
Yeah,
what
I
he's
don't think he
doing.
knows what this truly.
No, he doesn't know that it's a hate thing for her.
No,
Definitely not, because he's talking in such generalities and like definitely talking like he's a life coach and he's trying to tell them how to do better about themselves and stuff. Yeah, and I
like
don't
if
think
there's something that you want, you should just go and take it and things like that. So obviously he doesn't realize, like, you know, that what he's saying is translating different to this group of guys basically. Jen ends up though, she is the saddest sounding crier ever. Why is she like this? She's not gonna let you hold her in your lap. All right, so we've placed Sissy back on the coffee table. Oh, she's doing push and everything now.
Oh, making donuts.
Oh, all right, you go, sis. Okay, so where we left off was we said Jen walks in, obviously sees Abomination there giving the speech, and she's kind of like, what is going on? And Nikki comes in because she had lost the call with Pug, so she kind of like was worried that like he's not going to be able to handle this. And that's when she tells Jen, this is the intelligentsia, and like, you know, he's hulking. And then Todd kind of says, yeah, I did all this to get your blood.
Yeah, but you know what I think is funny is like she hears all that and she's more concerned with Emil and that he's standing there as Abomination. Not even like that he's standing there for them, just that he has turned into Abomination when he wasn't supposed to.
I think she knows that like what he was doing with this retreat is for good, and even though he's doing the Abomination thing for good, like he's still obviously gonna get, you know, in trouble. Because he is breaking the law, technically. He's going against what they had.
But how is he doing it with the inhibitor?
I don't know. Well, I'm assuming that the guy with the sword is, like, short-circuiting it or something like that.
Yeah.
Because that's still going to be my guess, is that's what happened. And Todd ends up taking the blood from Jen and injects it in himself, which, honestly, I didn't think it was going to actually, like, work. Like, and I think it's funny that they did that right in front of, like, you know, Abomination, all these people.
So creepy too, because
like, he was weird looking.
He was like, well, yeah, he was weird looking, but it was like cracking and stuff, and you don't hear that when Jen and Hulk do that.
Well, that's because I think this was like the first time. Like, it's not meant for his body. Like, I think in a weird way, like the best way I could explain it. I know people may not like this, but it's almost like they have like a mutant gene where they know that like it's meant for their blood and their DNA.
Hulk says that.
Well,
like,
yeah, that's
there's
what I'm
something
saying.
in their blood that allows them to accept the radiation that normal people wouldn't be able to accept.
So I think that's why his body was like cracking and everything. And then pretty much chaos just breaks loose at this point.
But weird chaos.
Like crazy chaos.
Which is what,
like to the point where I was like what is going on?
Who else wants to enter the room? And that's what she did. Like she broke the fourth wall again to be like, I'm sorry, he's hulking, you're Abomination.
Titania ends up running through,
comes in,
and then like Abomination grabs Jen because Todd's gonna grab her, and then Hulk comes in. He's like, okay, let her go.
Yeah, like and it's just like really bizarre. It's just like entirely too many things at once.
Yeah,
and that's why I think she's like, what are you?
Well, she's like, yeah, where is this show going? And this can't like be where it's going. Like, is this the story that we all want? Like the same, like where it just. You know, it is kind of a predictable ending. Like, we kind of figured it was, like, if it was, we kind of guessed either it was him or somebody higher up, and
we
assumed that they wanted their blood to make, like, a super soldier or something. So,
Hulk, so, I mean, I get it, but that is what people expect, though.
Yeah, well, I think she wanted to break the stereotype of the Marvel movies, which she does even address, which we'll get into it, because when she asks us what we want, she closes out the show basically and takes you into the Marvel screen, which sadly for us it wasn't as much of a dupe because I just go straight from the like continue watching. I didn't go like into Marvel to do it, so it like kind of lost it. But she basically breaks through her show, knocks her show title card down, jumps down, and she's like looking at all the shows like which one is gonna do, and she ends up picking the assembled show, which is like the behind the scenes of all the movies, which I was like, why is she picking that? And then I realized it's to access our world because that's the only Marvel thing that takes place in our world, which is interesting. My only thing though is if they ever change that Disney Plus screen, that glitch is not gonna like be as like, ooh, look at, like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like for example, a lot of people I saw comparing it to like the WandaVision glitch, where like Wanda just like reset the show. Like that was, I think that was
sorry. How did you hear about this?
after the show when we were watching Beverly Hills. I was on my phone.
Interesting, because I was gonna say we didn't watch anything, so. Did you know about this?
No, I'm saying I went on my phone because I was trying to figure out the Hulk's little secret that he ends up bringing. Like if people knew about that or theorizing where it could go. I like to get the people's opinion. And since Eric Voss, well, not Eric, this Jessica does these. She hadn't posted a video yet, so I was like, well, I gotta go to the people.
Okay.
I'm just
Move
saying.
on.
No, I know. I'm just saying. But I'm saying, like, the WandaVision glitch will always work because there's no, like, taking you out of the show into the thing. Like, and technically, if the title cards change, you know what I'm saying. So she comes into our world, walks through the whole studio lot, and ends up confronting the writers. And they tell her that this is the story that Kevin wants. And I don't know, to me, I mean, when you looked in the background, it said, like, episode 1, 2, 3 on the cards. But it sounded like they were talking about, like, a second season. I don't know if I'm crazy.
You thought they said 1, 2, 3? I thought they said 6, 7, 8.
Well, they said 1, 0, like, let's just say 101, 102, like the cards and like the flashcards that go underneath. But I thought I heard the writers themselves saying, oh, this would be something for like a second season or something. I thought I heard that. I would have to probably rewatch to see. But I thought I heard something like that. I could be wrong. So she tells him that, you know what, then she'll go talk to Kevin.
Yeah.
And she fights her way to Kevin, which we find out is a giant AI, basically.
Yeah,
which,
hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, which is supposed to be Kevin Feige, who controls the universe pretty much, except this is Kevin K, like, period.
Well, he spells it out.
Yeah.
Like an acronym, yeah.
Yeah, knowledgeable something, something, something. One of those, you know, classic...
Yeah, I don't know what like, it was either.
Karen things like they do with the Spider-Man glasses type of thing. I should have taken that down, but he said it very quickly.
Yeah.
And he even had a little. If you saw, he had like a curve above his eye, like a baseball cap, because Kevin Feige always wears a baseball cap, so that's what that was for. So Kevin, though, I thought this was kind of funny, and it addressed one thing that everybody kind of always talked about, even before the show even got to air. He says, "Can you please switch to Jen because you're very expensive in the She-Hulk form." Mm-hmm. And when she does it, she has to do it off camera because the VFX team has moved on to the next project, and you hear the like Black Panther theme song playing because that's obviously the next project to come out. Which I like this because it was kind of like the number one thing everybody was like, "Oh, the budget, this doesn't look good. The VFX doesn't look good." I will say it did look a little wonky at some bits, bits, not fully, but there were definitely some. But like, this was the last episode, and they obviously were now probably being like, "Well, let's focus on the movie that's coming out." You know what I mean?
Yeah. They give it up.
Yeah, they're like, whatever. This is like coming out in a few days. Let's just move on to the big movie that we can't, like, you know, like they could come back here and sneak in and fix her up in the future, because that's what they did in the Mandalorian episode when the guy was standing there with his there was a guy in the back with jeans. They went back and they just wiped him out of the scene. There was something else too. I think they did that with another show. I can't remember, but I know there was one on Disney Plus that they removed.
But she goes into the whole like what she would like to see happen instead of the typical trope that happens with.
Yeah, how we're seeing the Marvel stereotypes,
which it really is. And since she is such a lawyer and she really is trying to fight with the law. Yeah. I do think it was better that she did it this way. Like that she was like...
Yeah, she's like, can I give my closing argument? I am like a lawyer.
Yeah.
And she basically says, okay, let's get rid of the fact that Todd gets the blood and turns himself into the
So
Hulk.
this is the part that gets me. All right, so he doesn't turn himself into the Hulk, but he does though, or he
doesn't. Like I think
he doesn't, but like I guess they get the blood, because then you're like, well, if he didn't get the blood, then that means that whole thing with Josh didn't happen, and then that doesn't make sense. I don't think
it's like that. Like I think he probably got the blood,
but he use it.
But let's just say maybe instead, because they don't once she erases and fixes all these things. They don't show you it. They just show, like, her going up to everything. So I guess you could assume, like, if I were to dream it up in my head, I'd assume he injected himself with the blood and nothing happened at all.
Well, I don't even know if he got that far.
Well,
but,
but
it's
I
like,
would
where
assume
is
that
it
they
then?
would. No, I would assume that they would let him inject her with the blood, because then that would completely change the whole entire story. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think it would just be like he injected himself with the blood. He either got to be the Hulk for a little bit and now he doesn't stay it, or he injected it and it didn't work. Because I think those would be both right. Because it is kind of like, what were they gonna do? Even if she fought him, like, what are you gonna do with this guy now that he's just a Hulk?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And the whole point, like, I feel like the Hulks are kind of something special. Like, you're supposed, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's like the whole
It's
point
a
is,
different way that they became like superhero, like kind of like he said.
yeah. She also says that she doesn't want Bruce to come in and like save the day, because that's also like a classic trope where like they, like either a guy or even like a more stronger character will just come in and just try to like, you know, they'll
Yeah.
come in and save the ending
Which
of the
is
show.
what they basically were doing.
Yeah. So she says that she wants him gone, and Kevin says, well, no, actually, Bruce needs to be here because he needs to introduce somebody, and she says, save it for the movie, which is interesting because there's no Hulk movie confirmed, but I
Maybe
do
there
have
is, no.
some questions that we can theorize about this with. She then wants Abomination. She says he can transform, but she said he wants him to face his consequences,
Yeah.
or like be apologetic for what he
she
did.
She wants him to understand and be,
And
own up to what he did.
And she has one more request, that Matt Murdock obviously comes back. And she then, I think...
And that it's daylight.
Oh, yes, and that it's daylight. I forgot about that, too. Which is true, because it's always a blessing when they switch that from the nighttime, because some shows you just cannot see on. Like, to the point where we can't even have our lights on in our apartment, because you need to be, like in your movie theater.
Yeah.
Even sometimes that's not even good. Like, I think, like, Stranger Things is a prime example of one of those.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Yeah,
Marvel has
bad.
had their fair share of it, too. But, like, there's just some where it's like, oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Psh, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Remember, we couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, the one, remember where Reva was chasing young Luke? We were like, what is going on? And then we saw, like, Reva's lightsaber, and you could see a close-up of, like, young Luke's face, and we're like, oh, I guess she was chasing him? Like, we had no clue what was happening.
Yeah, that was a dark scene.
That was a bad...
That was real dark.
That was a bad example. That was a bad...
I can't think of any, like, Disney ones that we've recently seen that were, like...
That bad.
Yeah.
Like, Marvel-wise. Like, because, I mean, Obi-Wan is Disney+, but I'm saying, like...
I meant, that's what I meant, like, the
Yeah, I
Marvel
can't
ones.
really remember. I don't know.
Maybe something in Loki, perhaps. Like, when they were battling that house thing with the smoke. Maybe that, but not even. I don't think so.
Oh, maybe Moon Knight in the,
Oh, Moonlight, I think, yeah.
Moon Knight.
Yeah, Moonlight.
I thought you said Moonlight.
Oh, no.
I was like, I know you... Listen, I know sometimes you can't connect the names and everything, but I was like, I know you know it's not Moonlight.
Yeah, Moonlight.
Moon Knight. Oh, yeah. Actually, the Moon Knight at the, like, final scene where, like, Khonshu fights the big lady. Remember, we couldn't see that one.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst, but that was, like, you know, fully at night. So we appreciate that she made that change so we could actually see it. Before she goes, she throws in a third X-Men nod from She-Hulk.
She's doing a lot of stuff. Yeah.
She asked about, like, daddy
issues, which I think was funny because we all think about that. And
but the X-Men was the real, like, she was like, oh, so what about the X-Men?
He's
He's like,
see the X-Men or something.
and he's like, no. And he tells her to save it for the movie, and she asks, is she gonna be in one? And he says, no.
I think she could be.
Well,
I think
don't
if they
think
have a
she's-
Hulk movie, I think she could be.
Well, necessarily, like, I don't think she's gonna get her
No,
own
but I think
movie,
she'd be in a movie probably.
But, like, yeah, like, if Hulk had a movie with the kid... Oh, I just jumped a little bit ahead. Whatever. You should know this is a spoiler. If Hulk had that, like, a movie like that...
Yeah.
I think she'd obviously be in that. I think she's going to be in the Avengers movies and things like that. Like, so... Not necessarily her own movie.
Yeah.
But a, like... You know, an Avengers team up. There's no way she's not going to be in them, in my opinion. She rejoins the show, and she tells Todd that she's going to see him in court, because she comes at him all, like, you know, She-Hulk form, like, aggressive.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, just get it over with or whatever. And she's like, no. She's like, I'll see you in court, and we'll deal with it there or whatever, so.
Yeah, and then we find out that Emil's going to go back to jail for 10 years, which...
I'm kind of glad he did the right thing, but clearly we see in the end he doesn't really do the right thing.
It's the wrong thing. And then we don't really get a closing stuff on Titania. Like, she's just out there, like, filming the whole situation.
Yeah. And then
which
she's
very
gone.
influencer.
And then she's gone.
Yeah. And then we see her having a dinner with her family, and Matt's there. So I don't know if I'd say they're dating or not from this. Like, it kind of feels like it, but it kind of feels like
I don't
no.
think they were. I think he was just there spending time with her because he's leaving in a week, and
Yeah.
I don't think it. Yeah, I don't think it was
Like,
anything.
I think if anything,
But I think the
like
dad
he would
was
just
treating
be
it
like her.
She needs to get married, so somebody needs to like.
Like,
get
he's
on
like
this.
her, just her LA boyfriend. That's it. When he's
Yeah, I
there,
think
they're
she's
dating,
just a
and when
friend
he's
with
gone,
him.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they're friends. I don't think it's anything
And
yet.
then Bruce shows up because obviously Kevin says he has to show up. He has somebody to introduce, and he introduces his son Scar, which obviously is named after Sakaar. And our post-credit scene, like you were saying, we find out Emil did not do the right thing. Wong comes and takes him out of the DODC, which is better than I'd rather him go be with like Wong at Carmitage than join the Thunderbolts, like we were theorizing.
But he does though, doesn't he?
What?
Doesn't he join the Thunderbolts?
Well, in the comics, but I don't know. Like, this one does seem like a more... he seems like a good guy, this guy now. Like, he does seem reformed and things like that. So, I don't know. I mean...
Yeah, but he's kind of... Yeah, but he's kind of breaking out of...
Well, no,
of
I know he's
jail right
breaking
now,
out of
so
jail.
That's not really a good guy. I mean, I know
Well,
what you're saying,
yeah.
but, you know.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Good.
questions for us to
Okay.
theorize on. This will make up because we didn't do any questions in Andor. All right. Well, the number one question is, I think, that came out of this is, are we going to get a Hulk movie? What do you think?
I think maybe a TV show, another TV show. I think they might do something like how they did The Mandalorian, where it wasn't just him and the Baby Yoda. It was like then the Mandalorian, and like then now it's Mandalorian and maybe not Mandalorian. What's his name? Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
And then it was like Mandalorian again. So I think they're gonna do something like that, maybe.
Oh, so you mean like, well, the Book of Boba Fett technically wasn't the Mandalorian, but it was like kind of a fill-in, like you mean?
Oh, it doesn't go with anything?
No, the Book of Boba Fett's like the Book of Boba Fett. It's not like the Mandalorian.
Should
Like
we
Princess.
be taking that and...
Huh? What is wrong?
No.
What do you mean, no? The Mandalorian season 1 and 2 aired, right?
Yeah.
The Book of Boba Fett was like a continuation from that, but it wasn't part of the Mandalorian.
Yeah, but the Book of Boba... No. Mandalorian was not back to back.
Well, season 1 and 2 came out.
But not back to back.
No, but it came out season 1, and then a year
then
later, season 2 came out.
But Boba Fett
And
was
then
in
Boba
between
Fett
that.
came out now.
But they made it look like that's what they were doing next. Like,
Yeah,
do you know
well,
what I mean? 'Cause
kind of.
They connected it.
Like, yeah, I think it's supposed to be connected, but I don't think it's supposed to be like the Mandalorian subtitled The Book of Boba Fett. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, but I thought it was just about Mandalorians, so to speak.
No, this was about Boba Fett, but Mando was in it.
No, I know, but what I'm trying to say is, like, I think I could see them doing, like, her, him, and the kid. Maybe then her again.
Yeah, like you're saying, like something similar, but like
I
Hulk.
consider what they did with Boba Fett and
Fennec.
Mandalorian.
Oh.
No, and Mandalorian, like, not like
A
kind of,
bonus
like,
season?
Not kind of like that. Like, I don't want to call it like a family, like subtitles or family subheadings or something, but like they're in the
Like
kind of
a
same
subgenre.
group. Yeah, like they're in the
Yeah.
same group.
No, I know what you're trying to say. Like, yeah,
Maybe
I
it's
think
not
it was
just
supposed
lumping
to
them
be a
because they're
continuation.
maybe I'm just because I'm lumping them because they're Mandalorians.
Yeah. No, but I get what you're trying to say, like a almost like an offshoot of this show, like to fill in. So let's just say like they were gonna do another She-Hulk season next year, but
Yeah,
instead
like-
they filled it with like Bruce and his son.
Yeah.
I get what you're trying to say.
Took
Well,
a really long way around.
no, I know because you were kind of throwing me off.
yeah.
I'm like, you know what they did kind of at the end of season 2 though of Mandalorian, they did say like
That's
to
what
be
I'm saying.
continued in the Book of Boba Fett.
That's why I'm saying, yeah.
Which people thought
It's
that
the way
like,
they phrased it.
the
They're
way
like,
they phrased it very a little bit confusing. But as of now, there's no confirmation for a Hulk movie. But I think because they brought the son back, I think they probably will do a movie surrounding
what's
like the
point?
Hulks.
But they got to do something if it's a TV show or a movie.
But I think
'cause
probably
why
a
bother bring him back?
Yeah. Well, no, I think I'm gonna go with.
Who's the mother?
We'll theorize that in a second.
Oh.
First though, we should talk about who is Scar. Obviously, we know it's his son.
He looked warrior-ish.
Well, yeah.
Like, you know what I'm
so
saying?
he first appeared in the Planet Hulk comics, and he became a gladiator, like you were just saying.
See?
after Sakaar was destroyed, and he vowed to get revenge on Hulk for leaving him and his mother on this like waste planet. Not waste planet.
But I'm sure it's gonna come out that Hulk didn't even know he existed. I'm sure.
Probably. I mean, we obviously do know that Sakaar is destroyed because I don't know if it was destroyed, but we saw obviously at the end of Thor Ragnarok, like Jeff Goldblum's character, kind of on the planet. Was it destroyed? I can't remember now. Oh God, I got brain fog. What was I gonna say? Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna know. What's interesting though is like how long ago did he have this kid? Because this kid looks like a teenager.
Well, this thing says like somebody asked, can he turn into a human? And it says Sakaar can turn into a human, can transform into a human form of a 12-year-old boy. So that kid did not look 12.
No.
FYI. So I don't know.
He looked like at the least like 16, 18. Definitely like a teen. Somewhere there. But first off, what is that haircut they gave him? Did you see that?
Who? The kid?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It looked very like...
Well, his outfit, but I'm saying the haircut overall. Like, he's like halfway through it, like you meet halfway at his head, and it's all like a bald,
it's like
flat cut, and then he had like a ponytail. I'm just saying, it was a choice they made.
And the funny thing is, they don't show him looking like that here.
No, he has long hair typically, which I guess he does have on the back half of his head.
It's very weird.
Yeah, but I don't think Hulk probably knew anything about him, and I think that's probably why the Sakarian ship was coming for him to be like, you left your son on the planet, which is interesting because obviously Endgame alone is 5 years, it was a 5-year gap, right?
Oh, but I guess, you know what? If he's a 12-year-old boy, he's going to look older as a Hulk.
Yeah, probably like bigger, yeah.
Yeah, so he probably does shrink down into that.
Now I can't remember when Thor Ragnarok came out. Was it maybe 2017? So if you do 2017 minus the year they're in, which is 2025.
I don't know what math you're doing.
2025 minus 2017. You're not going to do the math?
I am if you'd silence it. 2017 minus what? 2025?
Yeah.
8 years ago.
8 years ago, so that doesn't even math right. You know?
Doesn't math right. Is that what she's saying?
Yeah. Yeah, 8 years. So that wouldn't even make sense. Like, so even if you went by the 12-year-old kid, well, he was actually. I'm sorry. I should.
Because that's 5 years. 8 plus
years.
5 is 12.
I'm
so
saying
could
so
he
if
have been in the blip?
No, but here's the thing. Actually, no, because he was on Sakaar, so I don't think he would have been blipped. Like, I think Thanos just blipped. No, Thanos blipped the whole world. I'm sorry, the whole universe. What I think actually happened was,
She pushed me. Go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I forgot. Technically, at Age of Ultron is when they sent Hulk to Sakaar. Remember on the plane at the end or something? Like they had to get him out of there. So technically, he's been gone even before 2017. So I guess the kid could be old enough. I can't remember when Age of Ultron came out. I'm not gonna try to remember. Thor Ragnarok, I only got that because that's probably my favorite movie. So, yeah. Back onto our other question here. Who is this kid's mother?
Yeah.
Who is the mother? You know?
Question.
Because when you think about it, he was in Hulk form.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean...
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Imagine he was a Hulk baby. That would be interesting. Imagine he was turning into a Hulk baby while he was being born. Holy mother of earth.
Well, in the comics, it does say his mother is... God, help me.
Where is it?
Carrie?
No, it's like Sierra.
Oh, Sierra, probably, yeah. Sierra, the old strong, and she ends up dying in the destruction.
Old strong. That's a name you want to have.
She dies in the destruction of Sakaar, basically. Now, Sakaar in the comics, from what I was reading, is very different from what we saw in Thor Ragnarok. Like, she was supposed to be like a leader of like a rebellion and everything. Like, it was a whole different thing. You know what I mean? So it's probably not going to play out like 100% like the comics, but something close to it, I think.
Thank you. Oh, well, have a drink. Have my drink, as a matter of fact.
Thank you. All right. Well, we kind of talked about this, but do you think you could see the show getting a second season?
Yeah, I just think it would be totally different than anything we did in this one. Like, I don't think it's really good. Maybe a little connected, but not much.
Yeah, like more of just like a legal comedy.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like less giving it to the MCU stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I agree. I definitely think a second season's more likely than her getting her own movie. I just feel like she's not a character that would have her own movie. Like, you know what I mean?
If they were gonna do, I think if they were gonna do a movie, he would have said, "We'll wait and see," or "You'll never know," or I can't say now. Like he wouldn't have gave a definitive no.
No, yeah.
Like I think he would have,
because I think the definitive no was more like a no to, like we were saying, like a solo movie, not like showing up in the movies.
No, because here's the thing: it would have to be like another legal comedy, because if she's already portraying herself as the kind that doesn't want to be a superhero saving the world, it would be kind of weird to make her all of a sudden someone that's doing that kind of superhero work. Like I think she believes, like how what's his name said, like,
well,
Matt,
that's how the show ends.
You can do other things that are more important and stuff with your other platform, and if I guess if She-Hulk can get her there, then by making her famous, that's great. But I think I also just don't think this style of show would really translate to like a 2-hour movie, because
as well. Like I don't think it would.
I don't think there's enough to do with it.
What do you mean?
Like I don't think there'd be enough. She hasn't established like a bad guy really.
Yeah.
She hasn't like.
Well, I think that also could be for
like, we
season
don't even
2
know
for
why.
Titania.
Yeah, like we don't even know why Titania is mad at her. So like, what would be the beef between them? Like it would just be a lot more to explain than it would be. I don't know.
Yeah, they're just characters that like when I think of them, I'm like, I don't really know if they could have their own movie. Like Kate Bishop, love Kate Bishop. I don't feel like she could have her own movie. Like I think the show was perfect.
Again, I think she could do a TV show.
Another TV show, yeah. I don't feel like her character is set for like a movie. Like Miss Marvel, I think can do a show or a movie, but I think she does better in a show. Like same with Moon Knight, feels like a show kind of thing. Yeah. Like there are just characters that when you think about it, you're like, yeah, no, this should be like a show basically. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, why do you think Wong took Emil? Or let him come join him, I guess, in Comertage?
I mean, he may be using him for fighting or defending the place. Or, something like that.
Well, yeah.
I don't think it's to color. Like, I mean, I don't think he's coming for him to be kind. I think he's going to expect something in favor, whether it's fighting, the training with him, or something like that. That he said he had to have him go fight in that ring.
Well, yeah,
because
that was
he
for him
opponents
to be
or whatever. Yeah,
I
mean, maybe he will fight with him, but I don't think like it's that nature anymore. I think he just felt bad.
So, in my opinion, I think that he probably had him because at the end of, well, not at the end of, I would say the end of Shang-Chi, but he was saying after the fight in the movie Shang-Chi, he said that he offered to take him from there to Comertage, which is kind of weird. But in my opinion, I think he might just be like giving him a second chance on this deal.
Well, and I think he did that too, just to be like to repay him for helping him fight and for getting in trouble because he did that.
Yeah, and I think this time, I think Abomination took it. I don't think Abomination would have not served out his sentence. I think he did.
No, but I think that's why he went back willingly. I think knowing that he was going to do this.
Well, yeah, but I think he was like in his head, which, I mean, I get it because it's like the reason he was transforming was in his eyes to help people. So it's like, know, it wasn't like he went out and he went on a rampage or hurt anybody. Like he really didn't. So it's kind of like.
No, and if he's going to follow his own little conference rules, then he has to follow the fact that he's got to own up to what he did. Yeah. Like, I feel like that's supposed to be the thing.
Yeah. Which you're saying to the taking him to Comertage for, like, a defense, which you could see because, like, obviously they just had the Scarlet Witch attack Comertage as well.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. So, like, is he getting him to come there just to help protect, like, they're almost and not even telling them, like,
their own little Avengers when you think about it. Because now we have Abomination. Obviously, you have the Sorcerer Supremes and all the sorcerers, and then Wong himself, and you have America Chavez there as well now too. She's training. Yeah. So you kind of have like a little mini group if something ever, if Wanda ends up coming up out of the rubble and being like, I'm not done being bad or something like that. So
I don't think she'll be bad for a while.
But he might have like a, like this might be in his eyes like, just like a protection.
I think it is like that and a payback because he's asking like nonsense things like, how's the cable? Like, how's the internet? Like, weird stuff that like, what does it have to do with anything if you're going to protect it? Which I don't think he's necessarily there to protect anybody, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is all we got. So this is our last She-Hulk episode, unless they get a season 2.
Nah.
But don't worry if you're coming here every Friday expecting to get a podcast from us, because our Andor episode is up now, and that's still up. And then also we're probably going to do something for Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. I was listening to the the Beverly Hills podcast on the YouTube. Very interesting.
Oh, yeah. I should let you guys know that as well. On Wednesday, we uploaded a bonus episode exclusively on YouTube, where we talk about all of our final thoughts overall of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 12. And speaking of Beverly Hills, tomorrow, Saturday, we're posting our reaction to...
Tomorrow's not Saturday. Tomorrow's Friday.
For them, it's Saturday, though.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, when they're hearing this, it's Friday. So tomorrow. If you're listening to this on the day it came out. Either way, on Saturday, we're posting our thoughts on the first part of the reunion. Mm-hmm. And then on Monday, we're going to post...
And it was a doozy.
Yeah. Our weekly reaction that we post every Monday, where we share about the shows that we watch separately. We also spin a wheel and talk about the news.
How many shows have you watched so far?
No, don't ask that. It's worse than last week.
I've gotten 2 shows down, and I'm rolling through the third one.
I got 2 shows down, too, but only 1 episode from each show.
Oh.
I have a rough week. I have an infection in my tooth.
I only did 1 episode from each show.
Yeah.
But I've also watched my Days of Our Lives every day.
Yeah,
and
but
I've been tapping into YouTube.
Yeah, well, I haven't felt well. Infection in my tooth that I'm getting a root canal on. Okay. When you're listening to this, I'm probably getting my root canal, so hope all goes well for me, please. Please, let me not have any more pain. You guys don't even know the extent of this.
All right, we got to wrap you up.
Yep. All right, so you can either give us a 4 or a 5. 4 if you think we have to improve. 5, you can just go ahead and do that right now if you know that we're going to improve. Also, make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening, even if you're on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, you should probably hit the bell. And you can give us a thumbs up. Don't... What
a
the
screeching
hell?
Dog.
Don't give us a thumbs down, though. Instead, leave a comment telling us how we can improve.
Yay.
Oh, I said it.
I don't know. Yeah.
That feels like it. I think that's all I say. I think
we
that's
have to make it because she'll keep going, folks.
Oh my God.
Well, no, you do repeat sometimes the 4-point star thing.
Because you interrupt me. We've already went over this.
I haven't interrupted you.
Thank you so much for listening or watching. That's it. Thanks for joining us on our She-Hulk.
Hit the button. I need to eat, lay down.
And Fortnite.
Oh, Jesus.
Whoa! What happened? Why didn't it stop recording?
Hit the button then.
I'm trying.